So, out of excitement, out of excitement, I am blessed to be able to, again, be inside of this great, big, wonderful book. And we know that the steadfast love of God was with Jacob. He has dealt graciously with him. So, I just want to, I kind of want to pull that up here. Let me, sure, we went through that, where Jacob talks about that, but let's just continue. I would like to, I'm just quite excited about this God whom Jacob loved. And this makes me mindful. Okay. Here I found it. Jacob speaking to God, he said, I am not worthy of the least of all the deeds of steadfast love and all the faithfulness that you have shown your servant. Here Jacob's heart. Here's awareness of God. Jacob is realizing, I am not worthy of the least of all the deeds of steadfast love and all the faithfulness. I'm going to read that one more time. I am not worthy of the least of all the deeds of steadfast love and all the faithfulness that you have shown to your servant. For with only my staff I crossed this Jordan, and now I have become two camps. So I want to direct us to Psalm 107, and so that we might be able to just get more of a great sense of who this God is. Psalm 107. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his steadfast love endures forever. Let the redeemed of the Lord say, whom he has redeemed from trouble, and gathered in from the lands, from the east and from the west, and from the north and from the south. Some wandered in desert wastes, finding no way to a city to dwell in. Hungry and thirsty, their soul fainted within them. Then they cried to the Lord in their trouble, and he delivered them from their distress. He led them by a straight way, till they reached a city to dwell in. Let them thank the Lord for his steadfast love, for his wondrous works to the children of man. For he satisfies the longing soul, and the hungry soul he fills with good things. Some sat in darkness, and in the shadow of death, prisoners in affliction and in irons. For they had rebelled against the words of God, and spurned the counsel of the Most High. So he bowed their hearts down with hard labor. They fell down with none to help. Then they cried to the Lord in their trouble, and he delivered them from their distress. He brought them out of darkness and the shadow of death, and burst their bonds apart. Let them thank the Lord for his steadfast love, for his wondrous works to the children of man. For he shatters the doors of bronze and cuts in two the bars of iron. Some were fools through their sinful ways, and because of their iniquities suffered affliction. They loathed any kind of food, and they drew near to the gates of death. Then they cried to the Lord in their trouble, and he delivered them from their distress. He sent out his word and healed them, and delivered them from their destruction. Let them thank the Lord Yahweh, the Lord, for his steadfast love, for his wondrous works to the children of man, and let them offer sacrifices of thanksgiving, and tell of his deeds in songs of joy. Some went down to the sea in ships, doing business on the great waters. They saw the deeds of the Lord, his wondrous works in the deep. For he commanded and raised the stormy wind, which lifted up the waves of the sea. They mounted up to heaven. They went down to the depths. Their courage melted away in their evil plight. They reeled and staggered like drunken men, and were at their wits' end. Then they cried to the Lord in their trouble, and he delivered them from their distress. He made the storm be still, and the waves of the sea were hushed. Then they were glad that the waters were quiet, and he brought them to their desired haven. Let them thank the Lord for his steadfast love, for his wondrous works to the children of man. Let them extol him in the congregation of the people, and praise him in the assembly of the elders. He turns rivers into a desert, springs of water into thirsty ground, a fruitful land into a salty waste, because of the evil of its inhabitants. He turns a desert into pools of water, a parched land into springs of water. And there he lets the hungry dwell, and they establish a city to live in. They sow fields and plant vineyards and get a fruitful yield. By his blessing they multiply greatly, and he does not let their livestock diminish. When they are diminishing and brought low, through oppression, evil, and sorrow, he pours contempt on princes and makes them wander in trackless wastes. But he raises up the needy out of affliction and makes their families like flocks. The upright see it and are glad, and all wickedness shuts its mouth. Whoever is wise, let him attend to these things. Let them consider the steadfast love of the Lord. Yeah, end of that psalm. That is a sweet, very sweet, lovely psalm. And this is the blessing when you're riding with the God of Jacob. He rides on the wings of the wind. This one true God has blessed my life, and he has blessed me, and he deserves honor and praise for all of that, regardless of what the wicked say, regardless of what people say. If so it be wicked, he deserves the praise. You see, he is the God that blesses man. You see, he is the awesome one. He turns rivers into a desert if he wishes, springs of water into thirsty ground, a fruitful land into a salty waste, because of the evil of its inhabitants. Yuck. Yet he turns a desert into pools of water, and there he lets the hungry dwell, and they establish a city to live in. They sow fields and plant vineyards, and get a fruitful yield. By his blessing, they multiply greatly, and he does not let their livestock diminish. See, this was in the mind of Jacob. Israel. This was in the mind of Israel. he who strives with God, he knew that this was the God of blessing. This was the God that does not let livestock diminish if he doesn't want it to. He is the God of all the livestock. He is the God of our breath. He breathed into the nostrils of man, and he became a living being. Whoever is wise, it says, let him attend to these things. Let them consider the steadfast love of the Lord. Yes, his great continuing love. This is what's going on day to day to day to day to day. All day, every day. This is the God of blessing. And he wants to get you before it's over. Before it's over. And don't we all know that there's a day that it's going to be over? When we take our last breath. So why not today? Why not today enjoy the God who is able to keep people's livestock and make pools of water in wastelands. That's what he does, and he does it. He wants to do it in your heart. See? Deep in here, he wants to change that. But this thing right here is going to have a hard time and doesn't want to change, usually. But when we get into things like this, it's like it helps our heart shift to say, oh man, how long would I have been stuck in that old place? This is the new place, you see. So this is why I'm excited about Psalm 107. It goes right along with Jacob's life and how he was thinking about God. Then there's more. There's more. He's an interesting Lord. Now this is fun. I'd like to see if maybe you guys are interested in. I'm gonna read this next psalm, Psalm 108, and I'm if it's in your thinking to find what these things mean, what this means, because it's pretty deep, and it may be in your thought to search this one out. You guys might have some fun with this. And maybe, you might, want to look into this one. I would think it would happen in your mind as we go through it. Let's read this here. Psalm 108. My heart is steadfast, O God. I will sing and make melody with all my being. Awake, O harp and lyre. I will awake the dawn. I will give thanks to you, O Lord, among the peoples. I will sing praises to you among the nations. For your steadfast love is great above the heavens. Your faithfulness reaches to the clouds. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be over all the earth, that your beloved ones may be delivered. Give salvation by your right hand, and answer me. God has promised in his holiness, with exaltation, I will divide up Shechem and portion out the valley of Succoth. Gilead is mine, Manasseh is mine, Ephraim is my helmet, Judah my scepter, Moab is my wash basin. Upon Edom I cast my shoe, over Philistia I shout in triumph. Who will bring me to the fortified city? Who will lead me to Edom? Have you not rejected us, O God? You do not go out, O God, with our armies. O grant us help against the foe, for vain is the salvation of man. With God we shall do valiantly. It is he who will tread down our foes. End of Psalm. So, wow. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So God in his holiness, it says, speaks in Psalm 108:7. And I know it's popped into your guys' head if you checked that, if you heard that. So these people are I love this. I love this psalm, and I can't say I fully grasp all that's here. It's really deep. I really like this. Okay. Oh, grant us help from the foe, for vain is the salvation of man. Let us go find what that means, right? With God we shall do valiantly. It is he who will tread down our foes. With God. Now, I'm going to go back to that, but here's what I think is fascinating as well and deep. God has promised in his holiness, with exaltation I will divide up Shechem. This is Psalm 108:7. God has promised in his holiness, with exaltation I will divide up Shechem, and portion out the valley of Succoth. Gilead is mine, Manasseh is mine, Ephraim is my helmet, Judah my scepter, Moab is my wash basin. Upon Edom I cast my shoe. Over Philistia I shout in triumph. This is interesting to me, and so maybe you guys might want to have some fun with that. Moab is my wash basin. Upon Edom I cast my shoe. Over Philistia I shout in triumph. What a wonderful. God is just saying, I got this. I got this. From top to bottom, helmet to shoe. It's all. So you guys, I'm sure will have fun with that, digging into that. Gilead is mine, Manasseh is mine, Ephraim is my helmet, Judah my scepter, Moab is my wash basin. Upon Edom, okay, I cast my. Now, you know what else is really cool about this? In Psalm 108, verse 7, I will divide up Shechem and portion out the valley of Succoth. Hey, guess what we just read about? Where did Jacob, after he parted from with his brother, where did Jacob go hang? Where did he go hang? Check it out. We just read it. It's in Genesis 33. And Jacob came safely to the city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan. Right above that, it reads, but Jacob journeyed to Succoth and built himself a house and made booths for his livestock. Therefore, the name of the place is called Succoth. Succoth means booths. And Jacob came safely to the city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan. God has promised in his holiness. With exaltation I will divide up Shechem and portion out the valley of Sichem. So I just wanted to make sure when I was reading that in Genesis that we had that chronological, but it's right there. You see him. And here we go. I'm going to read this. Genesis 33:18. And Jacob came safely to the city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, on his way to Padan Aram, and he camped before the city. And from the sons of Hamor, Shechem's father, he bought for 100 pieces of money the pieces of land on which he had pitched his tent. There he erected an altar and called it El Elohe Israel. There's some fascinating passages going on here. Fascinating readings, okay? If we jump back to 107, Psalm 107, check this. Where it reads, when the people were out on their sea ships, and they basically didn't have any regard for God, yet they saw his great mighty works. It says in 107:28, then they cried to the Lord in their trouble, and he delivered them from their distress. He made the storm be still, and the waves of the sea were hushed. Now, who does that remind you of? Jesus in the boat when he was sleeping and the waves were crashing and they woke him up. And what did he do? He hushed the seas. He made them still. And they thought to themselves, what manner of man is this, that even the winds and the seas obey him? Speaking of Jesus, who calmed the storm. You see? Boom. Right there in Psalm 107, we got him. We got God calming the storm. We got Jesus coming as a man and doing the very same thing for human beings. He deserves praise, wonderful praise. He's the God of all the earth. He calms storms in our lives, the troubles, the challenges, and he knows that it's when we get into this, and it guides us, and it helps us, and it keeps us strong. Oh, how are we strong? Psalm 108 says, with God we shall do valiantly. It is he who will tread down our foes. So when you're struggling and you're suffering and you're going through problems and you feel like you just can't get through, come on, buddies, my friends. We got the word right here that can change us and transform us to the great, wonderful outlook that helps us see that he calms all the seas, all the problems. So I hope that was enjoyable for you guys, and let God be exalted above the heavens and his glory over all the earth. He is the one that lifts up your heart. He's the one that can build up your spirit again. because without him you can do nothing. So why not let him jump into your life today? Yeah. And some of you have had him in your life. I hope if some are watching here, I hope that some who are watching have had him in their life, and then they can see here in the Word how God's love and connections. He boom, 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 boom. Be encouraged. Hey, when you're going to work and it seems like your boss don't care, or some people don't care, or you're having problems with your say your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your spouse, hey, go back here and say, what a mighty God I have. I don't have to be stuck in this state of mind of trouble. I don't have to be stuck in this situation. And start letting God's word guide you and direct you and free you from the things that are binding. As we just read in 107, Psalm 107. Let them thank the Lord for his steadfast love, for his wondrous works to the children of man. For he shatters the doors of bronze and cuts in two the bars of iron. So guys, deep inside sometimes it's like we have nothing left. We've just been stripped. Sometimes it feels like that. And sometimes it's actually true. Sometimes deep inside we have been stripped. And we are feeling like we're held behind the great iron door. And it's like we're behind the bars of iron. But he shatters the doors of bronze and cuts into the bars of iron. He is the one. So, God wants you to look out into the world if you want to experience some closeness with him. He wants us to look out into the world and look at the wonderful things that he has done and things that he has made. Let us not be blind to that. Let us look out. Let us see. Look at how things function and how wonderful it is. Could you have done that? Well, he's the one that did that, you see? So, let your heart reach out. Reach out and see. Look at the wonderful things. Mind yourself. Look at the wonderful things. Look at the wonderful livestock, the creatures that we have, and how he fills you with food from the plants of the ground and from livestock itself, and milk, and gives you honey. So he wants you to look out into the world. He wants you to look out into the sky and see how wonderful it is, and how wonderful and how great he is, and not to be blinded by some of these things that are nagging, and really they're just really small things that God doesn't want you to be mindful of. But if you're not looking at his great, wonderful, marvelous work, you will be stuck. You could be stuck. But remember, he shatters the doors of bronze, and cuts into the bars of iron. For he shatters the doors of bronze and cuts into the bars of iron. So, be blessed, guys. There's more. There's more. Sometimes I feel like I'm on the move. I'll be ready. Now, challenges and troubles come, and sometimes we don't know how to exactly weigh our challenges and our troubles. Yeah. But we know we got the word right here that gives us insight on basically how to weigh things, weigh situations, and make the choice that he wants us to make. His choice, which is always the best and righteous choice, which is always the right choice. The right choice. Okay? So, let us be thankful and blessed by his hand